Hello, everyone. I'm going to make three videos on the concept of graphing. And the first thing I'm going to start with is the vertex form of a quadratic. And in vertex form, this is exactly what it looks like. A parenthesis x minus b squared plus k. I know this does not mean anything to you right now, but it will in a minute. I just want you to fill in 8. Very easy. Hence why it's called just like that was called slope intercept form. Slope and an intercept. This is the axis is going to be a vertical line that goes straight through your graph. If you remember from algebra 1, the reason a vertical line is equal. So the axis is x equals 8. In this way, the up or down, and or y. Okay, so that's what those letters are going to mean. One thing I want to say is this H here, even though there's a minus there, this H is is whatever it is with a minus. If I change it to a plus sign, that's when H is going to become negative. So I just want us to watch that. First thing we're going to look at is Desmos. So I want you to come here and I want you to look at this graph. Quadratic equation, y equals a x minus h squared plus k. First thing I'm going to do is just put an h in, and I'm going to put in 2. And I want you to see where that graph went to. And if I put in 3, where is it going? And if I put in 4, where is it going? I hope you see that when there's a minus there, it's graphing it at positive 4, which is what we wanted to do. Because remember, it is a minus, but it's whatever the value of h is. So what do you think is going to happen when I put a plus here? I hope you realize it goes to negative 4. So the value of h in here is what shifts my graph left or right. So I'm going to put it back to, let's say, 2. Okay? So inside the parenthesis of the x with the x is what shifts your graph left to right. When I add a plus 2, can anyone take a guess what's going to happen? It's going to move my graph up. So this k value here is what moves your graph up or down. What's kind of tricky is whatever's inside the parenthesis basically looks like it's going the opposite. If it's minus 2, it's going to the right. But this is actually doing what it says. So if it's plus 2, it's going up. If it says minus 2, it's going down. Well, what I need you to realize, the vertex of a graph is the point where the graph changes direction. If it is going up, it's our minimum. If I was to flip the graph, which is now what I'm introducing A, it is the top of the graph, which is called the maximum of the graph. So our vertex is by far the most important point in a parabola. It tells us if it's the minimum or it's the maximum. It's also where it changes direction from going down to up. The axis of symmetry is a line that's going to run right through the center. So if I'm at 2, negative 2 is my vertex, then the axis of symmetry is x equals 2. It's a vertical line that runs right through there. If I type x equals 2, that's what a axis of symmetry is. So it goes right through there. Okay, so that's the axis of symmetry. Last thing we're going to talk about is A. I already showed you if A is negative, our graph just simply flips up or down. If A is a high value like 5, what's happening to my graph? Or 6, or 7, or 9? My graph is getting narrow. It's getting steeper. It's a larger slope. If I leave it just at 1, it's your average parabola. So as I get bigger, it gets narrow. As I get smaller, and what do I mean smaller than? I mean smaller than 1. So you have to think of a number that's smaller than 1. All right, 1/2, let's say. Okay, look what's happening to my graph, or a 4th, or an 8th. My graph is getting wider. So that's all that A does. A changes whether we're going to have a narrow graph, like something very steep, elongated, or am I going to have something that's wide, opens up. And it changes the direction. If it is negative, my graph is going to flip down. If it's positive, my graph is going to flip up. Okay, so something like that. So with that, I'd like you to just go back here. Hold on. In this video, I just want us to be able to find what the vertex is, the axis of symmetry, and the direction or width and style of our graph. So the vertex, I hope you know. So y equals ax minus h squared plus k. K is always your vertex. Now, if it is a minus sign, then that is what the value is. So it is a positive 4, and whatever K is whatever it is. So my vertex is 4K. If I had to sketch this graph, I know this would go 1, 2, 3, 4 over and up 2. That would be my vertex. And since the direction of my graph is going to be up and it's going to be more narrow than it is wide, I'm going to draw that. Okay. If it was negative, it would flip down. And then the only thing I need is an axis of symmetry is where is, and normally we like to use a dotted line. Where is that dotted line that's showing it's the same on both sides? And that's at x equals, and it's whatever your h is. So we determine h is 4. Sorry, so your axis of symmetry is x equals 4. All we're going to do is a rough sketch, and I'm going to ask you a couple questions on the puzzle on what is your vertex. So right here, what do you think the vertex of this graph is? Hopefully, you think it's +1, -3. What your axis of symmetry is. So remember, your axis of symmetry, AOS, you'll see me call it, is always a vertical line at x equals, and it's whatever your h is. And where does this graph open, up or down? We check whatever numbers in front of the 1, which means open up, okay? And it's going to be your standard. So it's not wide or it's not narrow. It's standard. So if I have this -3 dot, I know there, which means is the on the right. And once I get there, that's the next video. Please don't forget ever in your life you can always do an XY chart. Choose X 0. Choose values. We're not even getting there. So it's a standard graph maybe like that. Okay. Let's try the next one. I'll quickly ask you, what is the vertex? +2, -4. Good. Please remember, I know it's tricky, but if that is a minus, it's an actual moving to the right 2 and down 4. Axis of symmetry, AOS, is what? X equals, and that's a dotted line that goes through x being 2. And then lastly, will this graph open up or down? Up. Will it be narrow or wide? And the answer would be more narrow than it is wide. So maybe something like that. If it was wide, we would be wider. We would come with a wider approach. Okay, so I think that's a good start. Maybe from here you can graph some by yourself on this page, just doing some rough sketches. Thank you.